one of the things that is very interesting to me about humans is how we have taken life, which is actually very simple. If you boil down life to like its core, it's very simple. And we have made it very complicated to our own detriment. Life's very simple. It's really just about survival and experiencing life. You know what I mean? Making memories, trying to enjoy ourselves, enduring the things that happen that we don't really like. But at its core, it's just survival and experience. But we have turned that pretty simple concept into something very complicated. And now most people feel like there are all these things they have to do, all these things they have to accomplish, or they've wasted their life. But they end up wasting their life trying to accomplish these things, and it does not make them happy. And that just like kind of fascinates me. I just look and, and I get it. I get it. If one of the things, another thing that fascinates me about humans is if you want a human to believe something, just tell them enough times, they will. If you want a human being to believe something, just tell them enough times that it's true and they will believe it eventually. This is what humans do. A lot of stuff people will go through their whole life believing is just because someone just told them that their whole life, and so they believe it. Let me add in there too, you might want to be the first one to tell them that. If you catch somebody and you're the first one to tell them something and you keep telling them that, they'll eventually believe it's true. Might even work with the second or third person. But if you keep saying it, people believe it. Even if it doesn't make sense, even if it's not logical, even if everything around them says the opposite, all the data is to the contrary, you tell a human being something enough, they'll believe it. So people just go through life believing things that they've been told because that's all they were told. And even though it's making them miserable trying to follow this path, even though there's no joy in it, even though there's no happiness in it, we as humans will just keep doing it. Because since that's what we believe, we feel like, oh, if I just I must not be doing it good enough. I must not be doing it a good enough job of it because this is what I'm supposed to be doing. These are the boxes I need to check. This is the life I have to have. Even though I can look at other people who have it and they're not happy. And even me going after it isn't making me happy. But that's what they told me, so I got to do it. And I'm not like, picking on or coming at anybody. Like that's, as humans, what we do. You just believe the people that tell you stuff that, seem to be believable people. And it helps that like other people who are like, hey, wait a second, maybe that's not true. Maybe do your own thing. Maybe figure it out for yourself. People say they're crazy. Oh, that person's crazy. When people do come forward with things that, say, hey, this might be true over here. People are like, oh, they're conspiracy theorists. They're nuts. They're crazy. Tinfoil hat people. So you're told this is true, and anyone who disagrees is like crazy, ostracized. And so we just go on, a lot of us just living lives that that are super complicated to no avail. You know what I mean? I can see if we were complicating our lives and it worked. It's like, man, ever since I got so complicated a life, my life's been great, right? But that's not the case. We're out here like living these super complicated lives and all these things you have to do. All these metrics you have to meet. You have to have this, you have to have this, you have to achieve this, you got to do this, blah, 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 blah. People at 22 miserable because they feel like they're behind in life. They ain't even started living. They feel like they're behind in life because so many people their whole life have told them this is what you got to do. We hit middle age. And we have these midlife crises. A lot of people having quarter life crises, having a crisis, crises at 30. Because like we feel like we haven't done what we need to do. But also, I think part of the reason we have these crises all through life is because part of us is like, okay, this is what I need to do. Maybe I haven't done it. But then I think there's another part deep down inside that is like, yeah, but what about this stuff we really want to do? And we just kind of suppress that. And I think that's why sometimes when you see people go through a crisis, they may act out and their behavior be kind of weird because they're trying to tap into this stuff that they've suppressed that they really want to do. Because we kind of, sort of, on some level, realize a lot of this other stuff isn't bringing us happiness. And there's no specific things I'm pointing at here because we're all different. We're all unique. So some of the things that society says is normal and you should do, that is what some people naturally want to do. So they might be happy in that. But for a lot of us, there's a lot of things that society said we should do, or ways that society said we should be living, or things we should achieve by certain ages. We don't want. We just don't want them. Who knows why? Like why, why is blue somebody's favorite color? Who knows? Why do people like the beach? Some people like the mountains. Why do people like redheads? We don't know why we like certain stuff. We're just born attracted to wanting, liking certain stuff. I think the same is true with how we live our life. I think we're just like born with certain ways of living that would benefit us the most. If you just like orange, you know what I mean? If orange is your favorite color, wearing black all the time ain't gonna work for you as much as wearing orange. You know what I mean? I love the color pink. Y'all know me. If she wearing pink, I'm done. She get my whole paycheck. No, I like color pink. It just does something to me. I see a woman, not a lot of pink on, looking good. Wow, does something to me. Not the same if she wearing yellow. Not the same. I don't know why. It's just, and we all have different stuff. People have favorite foods. If you really love lasagna, not the same if somebody gives you a plate of broccoli. It's just, you may even like broccoli, but it's not the same if you really like lasagna. And like, I think that's a good analogy for like our lives. Like for some reason, we're willing to admit in everything else that people have favorites and things they like better or things they prefer, preferences, everything. But like when it comes to life, and how you live and work and all that type stuff, people say, oh no, this is the rule. Different parts of the world, different countries, different regions might have their own variation, but it's like, no, this is what you do. And it's like, bruh, if in the little stuff, we all have different preferences, why in the big stuff wouldn't it be the same? Like why wouldn't there be different things in this life that appeal to me more? Why wouldn't there be certain careers that I might like more? Why wouldn't there be a certain way of living that I like more? Why wouldn't I like a different level of freedom? Why wouldn't I like, just doing things at a different time period? That's a big one. This ideal that we all have to do certain things by certain ages is crazy. I don't even think we should keep track of our ages. There's nothing good associated with keeping track of your age. Nothing. Think about it. Nothing. All it does is bring you down. So this ideal that like everybody should want to do certain things by certain ages is crazy because we're all different. We're all different. You might want to do it at 40. Somebody might want to do it at 60. Somebody might want to do it at 18, whatever it is. This is how we complicate our lives. By rushing ourselves through life and saying, oh, I got to do this by now and I have to have this, or like, I've wasted my life. You're wasting your life when you're not living it uniquely for you, for me. It's a wasted life if I'm not getting the most out of this life, the most enjoyment, the most happiness, the most love. It's a wasted life if like you're doing stuff you really deep down inside don't want to do, because what is it going to get you? Even if you achieve it, you're not happy. Like it don't get you nothing. If you really don't care about money, getting rich ain't gonna do nothing for you. If you really care about money, it might. You know what I mean? If you really don't care about something, getting it won't matter. That's why we see people, and this is what like hurts. There's so many things in this world that like hurt when I see people going through it, the pain, the suffering. But the one that really hurts me, and I think is why like I have this channel, is when I see people living great lives on the surface and they're not happy and they're miserable. When I see people living good lives and they hate them, like that gets me, bro. Like, you know, all laughing aside, like that hurt. Like, bro, like when you see somebody, especially if the person's like, I did everything they told me to do. This was the blueprint. I followed it step by step. I made it. And I come home every day and hate my life. Or I'm just not, maybe not hate it, but a lot of people just, there's a song called Numb Little Bug. And I think the chorus, she's like, do you ever get a little bit tired of life? You know, what does she say? Not really happy, but you don't want to die. Like, I think it's just kind of this vibe. That song really resonated with me because I've been there before. And it's just that ideal of like, you know, it's not like you're like crazy, oh, I want to end this, but you're just kind of like, what am I doing? Why? Like, it's just not, what am I, you know, why? Why am I continuing to go through these motions, get up every day, do all this, and it's not doing anything for me? Life should be doing something for you. Life should be doing something for you. You should want to get up in the morning and live your life. Unless you're really going through something, and then it should be like, oh, once I get over this, once I endure this, I can get back to living. But when like life's good and you don't have really have like a health ailment or anything really in your life that's like holding you down or you're dealing with, and you're still not happy, and we're still just like, we still got to like turn to extreme vices to feel enjoyment. I got to go out and get drunk, or I got to do drugs, or I got to like have a ton of sex or look at a ton of porn, you know, just to feel alive. That's crazy. When we're out there doing a ton of stuff, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of that, just like we got too much excess, complicated other people's ideals in our life. And at the end of the day, life's very simple. Figure out what you like to do and do it. You know, now you may not be able to do it as much as you like in the beginning, but like the cool thing about life is a journey. It may take time, but the whole time is part of the journey. Hey, I've decided I want to do more, whatever, me and my family. Right now, it's not really set up. I can do a ton of it, but every year we're going to do more of it. And once you get like that goalpost, this is what I want my life to look like. These are the basic, simple things I just want to do. And most of the things we like in life are pretty simple. Most people have 1 or 2, 3 things they love doing. They like doing it with their family. That's an amazing life. Most people who I think genuinely enjoy their lives, it is not super complicated. This is what I like doing. I do it. Or I'm designing my life to where I can do it more. These are the things I like. I want to spend my life doing them. Very simple. Gets complicated when we look at what other people say we should be doing and try to do that, because you can't win that game, because there's always something else. Oh, you did that, well, you need to do this. You did that, you need to do this. Well, people who did that have to do that. It never stops. But when you just can understand, life is just womb to tomb, birth to death. And in between, you have the right as a human being to decide what you want to do. Society might try to make it hard, but you have the right, and in most places, the freedom to decide what you want to do. And then when you figure that out, which takes some time sometimes, but once you figure that out, then you just work towards doing it. And it feels good. It feels good. Like you're like, oh, this is living. This is what it was supposed to feel like. I've been through that. I was like, wow, man. I have those days where I'm like, I am so blessed to be able to do this, to live this life. Like, it's amazing. Like, I literally have had days so good, I just had to stop in the middle of the day and pray and be like, hey, thank you for, thank the source. Thank something greater than me, for allowing me to live this life. And it's not even anything spectacular. It's just doing the things I want to do, So that's my message for today's car chat. Just felt moved to say that. Please, if you feel like you could be enjoying life a little more, if you're feeling very meh with life, please take some time and figure out what you want to do, no matter what that looks like, no matter how crazy it might seem, and then start working towards that. And I promise you, you can be living a very simplified, chill, easygoing, yet very fulfilling, happy, joyous life. Talk to y'all later.